There. So, I'm sorry I have not been posting much lately, but I have been working a lot more lately, and I've noticed it has been taking a lot of my energy from me, especially my creative energy. And so I've been having to, deal with these sudden imbalances in my energy, namely my creative energy. It seems as though I spend so much energy at work that when I get out of work, I want to do nothing but relax and unwind. And I think that this is what happens to a lot of people in the matrix that we live in. It kind of traps you in and steals your energy. So this would bring up a need, or it does bring up a desire in me to learn how to rebalance my energies so that I am getting the most out of them, and sort of compensating for the lack thereof. So one way I've been doing this is to kind of try to stay in the flow more often with my, my higher self, or my, true purpose, my highest good, so to speak. And one way I've been doing this is by, when I go to do an action or start a sequence in my life, whether it is, doing the dishes, or, well, here's a good example. So last night before bed, I dropped a bag of crystals by my bedside into the darkness, and there was no light, and it would have taken quite the effort to go through and pick all this shit up. And I was already kind of in the mode to relax and in a good place, so I made the conscious decision, I went with my intuition, to worry about it later, instead of feeding into that that urgent sense of anxiety, that compulsive disorder to, it has to be cleaned up immediately or it never will. And in doing so, it was hard, but I let go and I reserved my sanity. So this is another example, and here's another example. When I go to make these videos, I don't make them until I'm ready, until I feel that I'm ready, in the right mind, and have the right mindset to conduct them, where I can speak from the heart. And, there are times when I'll start recording, because I do this on a whim. I freestyle it, basically. There are times when I will start talking and I can't find the right word, or I stutter, and I'll just stop. I don't try again and keep spending my energy on it, getting more and more stressed out until it's absolutely perfect. I just simply go with my intuition, and if I feel like I'm in the mode to do it, then I am. If I'm not, then I'll, put it down and do it later. So, because the last time I want to do is project my, anxieties or, negative energies onto others. I make these videos to help people and myself. So this is just another example of how you can kind of live in the moment. In our society, it's not good to live in the moment. We always have to fear for our survival and rush to get the bills paid, or, make financial plans before we, go broke and go homeless. So there's always this lower vibrational fear of survival in the back of our minds. And honestly, it's not in the back of our minds. They push it up to the front of our minds. And then, of course, we're saturated with fear mongering in the mainstream media. So it is very imperative to learn how to not, think from the obsessive compulsive fear-ridden ego mind, but kind of try to put it in a subconscious place where it needs to be, for as a survival mechanism, because we're living in very safe times. Believe it or not, the media likes to push the fear, but humans are safer now than they've ever been. And so it's a tragedy that we have to spend so much energy on such low vibrational emotions and frequencies. So it is a very good idea to practice, living in the now and kind of going with the flow, so to speak. If you go to start a chore, or start, a desired hobby, or something where you have a specific outcome where you don't want to fuck up or whatever, then ask yourself, is this the right time to do it? Do you feel utterly passionate about it at the moment? Like, is it the right time to do this? You know what I mean? So, and of course, the first answer that pops into your head is usually the right one. It's the little little thoughts that nitpick at your decision, after you've made it, that are riddled with negativity, that's usually the ego. So a good way to tell if you are listening to your higher self or your intuition is, what is your very first answer that comes to mind from your heart? Is it a yes or a no? And you usually will get the correct answer right away. So I would suggest just being conscious of the way you are spending your energies, and try and make sure that you are, making the best decision that you possibly can for yourself and for others. All right, I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. I'll try to post more as soon as I get this energy unbalance under control. All right, love and light.